The Wednesday, December 7th, December 6th, 2023 meeting of the Richmond Community Police Review Commission is now called to order, and it is 7:03. May we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Carol Hextrom.
Present.
Rachel Wolberg.
Present.
Oscar Garcia.
Present.
Andre Jackson is absent. Carol Johnson says she'd be absent. Stephen Lacy is absent. Daniel Lawson.
Present.
And that's it.
Okay, we have quorum. Now, statement of conflict of interest. Pam?
Yes, at this moment, if anyone on the commission has a conflict of interest, please inform the commission now, although I think that because we have just status updates on the agenda items, I'm not sure there would be, but in any event, please proceed.
Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to agenda review. I assume that our council liaison is still absent, so we'll skip that part.
Does she have a backup?
You know, I asked about that, but she'll be back before the end of the year, so by our next meeting, she should be back.
Oh,
I
okay.
think she's back December 19th.
And she's probably going to put our motion on that, our agenda item on the calendar, supposedly for that date. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, next, approval of minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Before we get the motion approved, I would like to add that the legal counsel that was present on November 1st, her name is Floy Andrews. I know that there was a blank for the minutes. It's Floy, Floy, last name Andrews.
Oh, good point.
And thank you.
So we
So
have a
now-
motion. Do we have a second?
Second. Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh, we don't do. We do
This one
by
doesn't have to be a vote.
I think it does.
Does it?
Every single thing. I think everything.
I can do the roll call.
Okay, how do you want to do it?
Carol Hextrom.
Aye.
Rachel Wolberg.
Aye.
Oscar Garcia.
I.
And Andre Jackson is absent, Carol Johnson is absent, Stephen Lacy is absent, and Daniel Lawson.
Aye.
So the minutes are approved.
So now we move on to public forum. Do we have any speakers for public forum?
I left up, I printed something and I forgot it, so I will be right back. If you want to go ahead.
And move to the next item. Okay, so we're skipping the report of the city council liaison, and we'll now move to the chief of police. Absolutely.
Joining the table, is that okay?
Yep, absolutely. Please do.
So is Lily recording it so she'll be able to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And it's Zoom recorded too.
Was it
I think it's both recorded on the tapes and,
on Zoom?
Zoom.
I see.
Good evening, Commission, Sheriff. Thank you for allowing me to be here. My name is Tim Simmons. I'm the Assistant Police Chief, and I will be filling in for Lisa French, who is our chief, and she's absent today. I also do not believe you'll have a representative from RPU away today.
oh, that's nice.
Just like as a matter of a heads up, yeah. Unless last minute they show up, I don't think, Ben is gone, and I don't think there's a replacement that's coming.
Okay, and then what about the Police Management Association?
They have not reported to me whether they would be here or not, so I'm not sure.
We'll just wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I will start my report with kind of discussing our current state of our vacancies and our hiring to bring you guys kind of up to speed about where we are. Currently, we have 8 officers who are off on LC 4050 or some type of modified duty. So out of those 8 officers, 5 are entirely off work and are not able to provide any sort of assistance to the city or the PD, and 3 of the 8 are in a modified work capacity, answering telephones, taking reports over the phone, things of that nature, hoping to file cases. So that's good news. Those of you that have been on the commission for a while, you'll remember that that list is usually historically in the high teens to
Yeah.
mid-20s in terms of officers that are off injured. So there's been a lot of work being done around the area of officer, not just officer, employee wellness and organizational wellness. Implementing different sleep strategies, implementing on-duty workout times where they're able to come and work on their fitness, programs that are helping them deal with what their physical health is like, eating plans, nutrition plans, all these different things centered around trying to help keep the officers and the employees and their families in a healthy state of mind, working, providing services to the community rather than sitting on the sideline on an injured, reserve list. So we're starting to see some of the fruits of that, where we're down to 8 in comparison to what we usually are. So that's something for us to all really celebrate and be happy about. So into our vacancies, so we are authorized 146 sworn personnel from the chief to myself on down to the newest officer. And out of the 146, we have 118 filled positions with 28 sworn current vacancies. That's 5 sergeants and 23 officers. So the good news on this part of the report is that all of our management ranks are full, which really helps us with quality control, policy implementation, implementing some of those wellness things that I just discussed a minute ago. When we have holes in management, usually we end up seeing a little bit more of the holes that cause us some issues in the rank and file. When we're full in management, we tend to be able to fill those gaps and not have those issues. So we're kind of seeing that happen. Out of the 23 officers and 5 sergeants that we have vacancies, we do have candidates at various stages in the hiring process, so there's light at the end of the tunnel. These numbers also do not include officers that we have in the training program that will be filling these vacancies hopefully soon, which I think we have 7 currently in training right now, and I think we have another 5 in the police academy right now. So that's, those will be some offsetting numbers as time goes on here. So that's all very positive news. And I say approximately, so please don't quote me on those 2 numbers, but we're right around, I think, 7 in the police academy and 6 in training.
And do those usually make it through and get hired? Or
About
what's the
7,
system?
we're at about probably in this, for every 4 that are in training, about 3 make it. And then we have, usually an outlier where we're really hopeful, we're giving much training, but maybe this career field is just not for them. Okay. And then even in those cases, we try to find other holes in the department where we might have vacancies in some of our professional staff positions, and we try to redirect to see if there's any interest. Maybe they have a skill set that's not great for being a patrol officer, but maybe they'll be a great dispatcher. We need dispatchers, or maybe they'll be a great jailer or a great records clerk, where we have these holes too, so we look to see. So we don't lose these employees totally unless they say they have no interest in that regard. And then, okay, then we just have to shake hands and move on. By way of civilian, we have 6 of our professional staff. We have 68. I don't know if this number's ever given to you. I find it interesting to kind of know how many professional staff members work in the police department. We have 68 full-time positions in the PD that are professional staff, not sworn. 48 are currently filled, and then 20 are vacant at the moment. And those vacancies look like this, with 2 jailer vacancies, a network system specialist, we have parking enforcement vacancies, community service officers, CCTV wireless systems specialists, a crime prevention specialist, which we will be onboarding. Actually, that's a partner from Michelle Milan. For those of you that know Michelle, she's going to have a number 2 finally, which is going to be fantastic. Is the work she does. It's so wonderful, but she gets overstretched. So she'll have a number 2 starting on January 3rd, I believe is her start date. A police record specialist, and then 7 communication dispatcher vacancies. And so we're really focusing there because with the onboarding of the community crisis response team, we really want to make sure that we have enough dispatchers to service all the needs of the community And that's a big concern for us, and I think that should be something on your radar also, as we're onboarding that we're also making sure we're providing the necessary communication dispatch resources to support the programs that we're bringing on. And those are just important questions to be asking and important for us to kind of be focusing on as a department.
When do you think that'll be up and running?
I don't have like the timeline, but my professional estimation is probably the next 6 months, we're gonna start seeing some real activity.
Oh.
Yeah, that's, and there's a strong concerted effort to really press and move forward. I know all the budget dollars have been allocated and they're ready to do that. I think they're gearing up for the hiring process now.
Are these city hired or county hired?
City hires.
The city is hiring their own
Yes.
as well, even though the county is paying.
Correct.
The county has one too, which I guess covers Richmond as well.
They cover the whole county, yeah.
So I could call the county,
Yes.
hopefully somebody would show up.
Theoretically, so the county is just now moving into, like, they phased theirs in, predicated on how they were able to hire and how they were able to roll the program out. And now they are at a point where they're 24 hours and they're able to cover every jurisdiction in the county on a 24-hour basis.
But it's paid by the county, not by the city.
Yeah. Well, through your city's tax dollars.
I thought it was Measure X.
Well, that's part of Measure X too, but we all work to support the system, yeah. So I thought that was just some interesting information to kind of know where we are with our professional and our sworn staff and our vacancies. Some other kind of good news is we've hired, in 1 year, now, I'm gonna give you a number, not all these officers have made it through the process. But to give you an idea of how aggressively we're trying to hire and work with HR, we've hired 35 new police officers in 1 year. Again, not all of them have graduated the police academy, some got washed out in the academy, they failed out in various stages, and a few of them failed out in the training program. I'm just trying to give you a snapshot of this. There's really is a great working relationship between the PD and the staff here in City Hall to really work to find candidates, onboard people, get them involved. So that's great. And in the same time period, we also suffered a total of 9 departures of current officers through either retirees or resignations to go work at they left to go work at other law enforcement agencies. So that obviously was not so great. Okay. Any questions before I'm going to move on to our use of force numbers for the month of November? But does anyone have any questions with regards to the staffing situation? Okay. So for the month of November, we had a total of 5 use of force incidents. One of them, 3 of them were defensive tactics maneuvers to gain compliance and control a suspect. One of them was an impact weapon of some sort to gain compliance from the suspect. And then one of them was the use of a canine. And there was no hospitalization at all for the canine. It doesn't even there's any medical clearance. So I don't have the details on that one other than I believe it was probably a canine give where they took the dog out in the presence of the dog, initiated the compliance part.
Without a bite.
Without a bite, yeah. But I don't know that completely.
But it's still called the use of force, just to bring the
Because
dog out.
it's the presentation of the force. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So, I could look into that one a little bit more if need be, but we had a very, very low use of force, very low number in the month of November.
You guys have a use of force review every month,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
So you go over the
Yes, ma'am.
situations.
Mhm.
That's good too.
And then out of that use of force review comes recommendations for training, equipment, and in even some cases, OPA review.
Okay.
Just depends on the nature of what this, yeah. Ideally, the OPA review would have been caught before it gets to that. But sometimes it's like, I don't know, that needs to get checked. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for
Yes.
us?
Oh, did you call me?
No, go ahead.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead, Oscar.
Yeah.
Do I need to call you? Yes.
I don't know if you saw the shot spotter, but like 80-90% of the shootings that were detected were in the Iron Triangle. So, I mean, I'm not a policing expert, but doesn't that suggest that more attention is needed in the Iron Triangle?
So within the Iron Triangle, there were some key dispute incidences that occurred that are responsible for a good portion of those shot spotter activations. All of those involve parties that were involved in those cases, that are suspect in those cases, have been taken into custody on an operation that we did.
Oh, okay.
So
So you have
hopefully-
seen arrests?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
You, one thing we're starting, matter of fact, the very first one should be going up shortly. I think this will be great to know. We've implemented the flock program, right? So on our transparency portal through the city, we are going to also be posting the stats related to flock. So how many flock hits how many flock arrests how many arrests were made based on flock hits?
That's the license plate readers?
Yes.
Okay.
What type of crimes were involved with individuals that flock helped us make an arrest on? Like one of them was a homicide. We arrested a homicide suspect because of flock. A carjacking suspect who Iron Triangle, this is one of the Iron Triangle ones. Because of flock, we were able to figure it out pretty quick. We recovered, how many vehicles were recovering for people? I think we recovered over, I want to say it was 50 when I looked at it, 50 vehicles. Recovered stolen vehicles that we were able to recover for folks.
If you guys can do some social media posts for that.
So every time, I don't know if you've noticed too, on the social, I'm starting to push those out.
I've seen
saw one.
the calls.
No, I've done
yeah.
three
Oh,
weeks in a
where are
row
they
now.
going? They're not.
It goes on the Richmond PD social media, and then I take it from there and I put it on everyone's Richmond, so that there's
I didn't
two
see it on everyone's.
two ways
I'll
for
look
it
at-
to
I'll
be
look
there.
again.
Yeah, so I did see, I remember the stats on calls and responses, and I just remember thinking, wow, this is, like, it was in 1,000.
Yes, so now I'm gonna start plugging in the flock stuff too, in the same.
Oh, so you haven't?
We just got to that on our list of things to, so first was to do kind of that log of what you saw. Phase 2 of that is to start posting the flock stuff.
Yeah, and well, one thing too, I was in San Pablo recently, or their city council meeting for an event, and I heard that they have 200, and that Richmond, I saw the city council approved barely 100.
Yeah.
Is that, are those stats correct?
Those stats are correct. They're correct in the, approximately. I don't know the hard
The exact number.
number, yeah. My belief is my professional opinion is once we get up and running with what the city council has approved, we're going to, be able to significantly improve our response to things, and then I think we'll be in a good place to reevaluate down the road our needs situation. You know what I mean? I think what we got approved is sufficient for now. So I'm hopeful.
Well, especially if San Pablo's picking up anybody that crosses over their border, that helps a lot
It
too,
does,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
so-
I was like.
And Oakland just approved 200.
I know.
No, I know what you mean.
It helps, is what I'm saying, yeah.
Oakland just approved, I think it was in the 200s in San Francisco as well, a few hundred in San Francisco. So hopefully, yeah, and then we have the corridor, the California, state of California, put them on the freeway as well. So that helps us as well too.
Good.
Yeah.
Where did you say the social media posts go?
So, and that, like the initial drop on things will be in the Richmond PD social media feed. And then I always take the time to grab them off our site, and I'm fairly active in everyone's Richmond, feed, and I'll post them there also, so that it kind of maybe we'll reach a group of people that are tied into.
That's a closed group, so you might spread it to other places
Yeah.
as well, because.
But the Richmond PD one's not. That's why I was trying to, I can be all day long on
No.
social media, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are hiring a PIO, that's in the works, and so the PIO, once we have the PIO on board, they will be on.
Okay.
That'll be one of their key job responsibilities, actually.
All right.
Will be to be on all those social media sites.
So can you promote and Terry?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, I promoted him, but.
You have a question? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, normally we get some statistics about crimes, and I think what I'm looking for is more of if there's any more homicides, more like armed robberies.
So like persons crimes, like violent persons crimes?
Yeah, I think we usually get an update about.
So, like, are you guys usually getting that, like, every, or
Sometimes on a shot spotter.
The shot spotter has the shots, and some changes from one, but it doesn't have all.
He used to have it, I thought it was all in one thing, but maybe they would
Oh,
attach on the shot spotter.
I just meant when French comes, that she tells us the
like a
latest.
crime report itself? Okay.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if you had.
Unfortunately, no, I didn't come with a crime stat report, but I'll make sure.
But no more homicides, we're still at.
We have a total of 9 and then 2 vehicular homicides. We did have a homicide in November at Carson Park, yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
But that's still, we're flying
Well,
low this
we're
year.
from the early 70s.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Lots of progress.
I have another question.
Go ahead.
Do you know, I was able to see on the the police website, if there was an updated, there's supposed to be an annual report on the use of military equipment, like an inventory.
That's gonna be presented in February to City Council.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just had one comment on, somewhat related to Oscar's comment about the shot spotter, that I noticed that there's some months are higher and then it goes down. I'm thinking, did they just make a bunch of arrests? And so the next month, those people that are shooting aren't on the street anymore? And then they come back up,
It's a
so.
combination of things. It's a combination of that and people, human behavior, you know what I mean?
Right,
It's
they
not-
might have a few going on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but the people that you arrested, you expect them to stay in jail for a little while, or, do you know?
Not necessary.
Yeah, they might be up next day. Okay.
And then,
It depends on-
and then there's work that crime prevention is doing and to help mitigate some of this, there's work that ONS is doing to help mitigate some of this. So it's like all these things work in tandem with each other to try to bring an impact, and which also plays into some of the ebb and flow. Yeah.
Any other questions for Assistant Chief Simmons? Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you very much for your time. You guys enjoy the rest of it.
All right.
Okay, now it's time for our POA.
Do you want to go back to public forum and?
Oh, do you want to do public forum? Thank you.
Oh, yes. There was one email from Cordell. Good evening, Chair Hester, Commissioners, and staff. I'm submitting the following comments into the record. Number 1, for a future agenda, the commission should look into planning activities for 2024, for example, a commission retreat. And then number 2, also the update is that the new administrative services coordinator will be coming on board soon. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And now we move on to the report by Richmond Police Officers Association, Ben Terrio.
Good evening, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hey, good evening. Probably stay off the screen just because I'm a few time zones ahead on the East Coast and don't know how awesome this bandwidth is, but I just wanted to highlight a couple things for the month of December. If the Assistant Chief hasn't already talked about it, that's the Richmond Fire and Police toy program. We're doing some bagging of food this weekend. If you want to reach out and assist with that, we'd love to have as many volunteers as possible. That's on Saturday. You can reach out to Michelle Milam, mmalam at richmondpd.net for any type of coordination. And also, or just go to just Google Richmond Police Fire Toy Program. I've scheduled stuff up there as well. And then on the we have Shop with the Cop coming up on the 23rd of December as well. Also looking for help with volunteers or donations for that as well. That'll be on Saturday. Those are the top priorities for the month of December. There'll also be a toy giveaway on 23rd Street that is be done in coordination this on Saturday around 12:30. So we're looking for folks who need toys. That's a combination done between the RPOA, the Latino Peace Officers Association, and 23rd Street Partners. So if you want to come out to that as well, there'll be a street blocked off. I think it's noon or 12:30 on Saturday. But we're looking for folks that who need extra help this holidays. And if you know some folks, please direct them to me, or if you want to send me an email, I'm more than happy to work with you on that as well. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to highlight all the extra good work that the cops are doing out on the street and within the community. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up.
So I would just like to mention Oscar is going to be leaving soon, and which means our meeting will end. So let's try to keep everything running as fast as we can right now. But if you have any questions for Ben? Okay, thank you, Ben. We need to move on to the next item.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good night.
Which is the report by our investigative and appeals officer, Jerry Green. Jerry, you're up.
Thank you. Good evening. There are currently 5 investigations pending with the commission that have not been completed. This week, I completed the investigation of Mr. Gusalenko's death in custody from 2021 and sent that out to you all for your review. I would suggest that commissioners try to make time to view the video, as it was a very important aspect of the analysis, and it's rather complicated. So I think it's advisable for you to be able to view it personally rather than rely on my summary of it. It's rather complicated. Of the remaining 5 complaints, one, as I've said previously, remains on hold because of an active murder investigation. The second alleges discrimination policing. That's from this year. It was untimely under the ordinance, and I'll be preparing a memo for your next meeting that discusses the timeliness issues and getting direction from you whether that's excusable neglect and whether you'd like me to proceed with the investigation of the allegations. The third complaint involved allegations of excessive force and discrimination from this year. The fourth alleges excessive force through a dog bite. And the last one was the officer involved shooting from this year, Mr. McDonald. And separately, there also is the pending complaint regarding RPD's policy on missing persons. So that concludes my report. I'm happy to respond to any questions or concerns you may have.
Any questions for Jerry?
I have a question. So we just received a report today for Mr. Gusalenko. Do you anticipate that we'll have any other reports to consider at our next meeting, or will it probably just be that one?
It will be that one on the substance of the allegation of the issues, but there will be a separate case where I'll bring it to you on the question of whether the failure of the complainant to meet the deadlines for filing is excusable neglect. And, I try to do it that way so that I don't spend time on investigating the substance of the allegations unless you all think that you're going to excuse that late filing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so, thank you, Jerry. in case you guys don't know, the place where we watch the videos is right there, where, upstairs where, Eddie Aubrey has his offices upstairs.
Yeah, so I want to know about that process. So we email or call Eddie Aubrey?
Yeah, he used to have a schedule, but I think it's gone out of the favor, it's been a while.
Eddie is on, let me promote him,
Oh, yeah.
and then you can ask him yourself,
Okay.
the process. Eddie, can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi, Eddie, can you hear us? Okay.
Yes. I'm just trying to pull up the calendar. There's 3 different times during the week, one time each week. So if you just email me and I can send that list out of those particular times that we have viewing sessions. Usually there are 3 or 4 hours in the morning during one week, 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon in another week, and I think another morning session. I'd have to find that schedule, but I'll send it
Maybe you
out.
can send it to Lillian and she can forward it to us.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
send that out to Lillian, and then you just email me when you would like to come so that we can schedule it, have the USB drive available, and make sure the conference room is available for your viewing.
When we do that, is it like, should we coordinate so that?
Sometimes where you go, there's other people there, and sometimes it might just be you.
All right.
Yeah, if you talk to the other commissioners and you can arrange a time that all of you can come or most of you can come, that probably would be beneficial not only for us, but for you too.
Would that be a problem with Browning though? If, like the majority of the commission is there hearing evidence outside of the public forum?
It's just like going to a closed session, I think.
I think it's, well, as long as not 4 people go at the same time, right?
Yeah,
Pam?
okay, maybe only
So
3
it's-
should go.
As long as the majority is not there, then it's not an official meeting, correct, Pam?
Sorry, what was that?
Like, as long as less than 4 people go to watch the video, they should be good, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we shouldn't all.
Yeah, because even I've heard events, like the city council, in theory, more than the number of whatever is required to have quorum, can't attend the same event, I've heard. I don't know, yeah.
All right, so let's move on. We don't need old business or new business. Let's move to reports from commissioners, staff, and ride-alongs. Lilia, do you have any updates for the?
I don't have any update for the Excel. I have 5 ongoing investigations, as Gary mentioned. There's no update to the.
You're right, because we didn't have any
Mhm.
case last week,
I have,
last month.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So I received an email last week, from Henry Lay, who said that he's from the city of Richmond and that he set up an email for me as a commissioner,
Okay.
but I don't know if he's a real person, and
He is a real person.
Okay.
I think there was some, I'll have to follow up with you. I think there was something about having commissioners have like a certain type of email, just like for public records requests. Like we suggest like making a separate email, but I'm not sure, did anyone else receive an email like that?
I did, but I didn't, I
You
tried to
tried
set up
to
an
spam.
account, but my phone is not, I don't put a lock code on it, so it won't let me set up the thing.
Okay,
So I asked him, I said, look, I don't want to use that one, can I just keep using what I'm using? And he said, yes, go ahead.
okay.
So you don't have to do it.
Oh, okay, so it's like an optional thing.
He told me it was optional, I saved his email to make
Okay.
sure, but I couldn't get it to work anyway.
But he does work with the city.
okay, all right.
He is a real person.
So I have a question, did you go to the, NACO?
Yeah, Carol and I, we saw Jerry there and Eddie, but, yeah, and so I don't know if like, I'm supposed to make a presentation, I don't have anything prepared today, but.
Okay, well, okay, maybe next time you can tell us if there's anything, I mean, I just found it so, inspiring. And I'm sure you couldn't come out of there without being inspired about something. And
Right.
maybe you could, if there was something that, you know, that really spoke to you, maybe you could share it with us.
Okay,
Get the rest of us a little inspired. a
all
little
right.
bit.
Well, I'll try to put something, or prepare something for next week.
Okay, and then maybe we can put that on the actual, as an agenda item.
And Carol was going to, Carol might have something to add as well.
Right, both of you.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and I had a question about, maybe I could just ask you individually, but I need you to reimbursements, like how.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, anybody go on any ride-alongs? Guys are not doing it. One of these days. And no other reports from commissioners? Any other things we need to talk about? Okay, the meeting is now adjourned.
Oh, Miss Chair Hegstrom?
Yes,
Yeah, I'll send this in the email, but I can tell you that the next session that is available, that we have time blocked out, is on the 12th of December from 12 to 3. And then following that is on the 21st of December from 9 a.m. to noon. Technically, there's one on the 27th of December, that's a Wednesday, from 9 a.m. to noon also, but that's just after Christmas, so. But I'll send those times and dates again to Lillian so that she has them, but those 3 dates are the ones available prior to your next meeting.
Okay.
so I have a question, Eddie. What about if somebody really, because we have a case for the next meeting, which is short, right, with the holidays. If somebody can't make either of those days, is it possible for them to maybe reach out to you personally and see if there might be another time that would work?
Yeah, if they can't meet any of those 3 days and those time blocks because of work or something like that, then just email me and we'll try to work something out.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, looks like our meeting is now adjourned at 7:40 p.m.